this should be the easiest interview ever because you are a broadcaster. By the way, let's start with that. Fantastic. I'm not just saying that. You are a premier broadcaster.
Well, thank you. I'm very lucky. You know, one, I grew up with a father who had a love for the game. Secondly, I got to listen to McCarver rip us all in the 80s. No, but Tim McCarver is the top of the food chain, and to be able to listen to him all the time just has allowed me to try to find a niche.
A lot to talk about. I want to get into your book that you have out. Also, you have a big appearance here on Long Island, but the World Series just ended a couple of days ago. What was your prediction beforehand, and what did you think of the series overall?
Well, I said when the Yankees were playing the Twins, I said the Yankees looked to me like they're going to win the race to 11, which you have to do. You have to win 11 games. And it wasn't because they were the best team, which they are. It wasn't because it just, I think it was a combination of Alex was relaxed, Alex Rodriguez. They had a horse in CC Sabathia. And I think also, you don't know how many times it's going to come around for Rivera, for Posada, for Jeter, for those great players. This might be their last hurrah. And, you know, if you're a Yankee fan out there, people are going, what, are you kidding me? You know, they're older, great players that it's so difficult, and Derek Jeter said it many times, it's so difficult to win it all. And they did it again, and I'm really proud of them.
1986, you know a little something about winning. We got the parade today at 11 o'clock. What was it like on your parade? Do you remember it much?
Of course I do. I'll never forget because I went, brought my parents and my littlest brother, and I think at the time he was, 15 years old. And what happened for us, we thought, stupidly, that we'd get on the train and go downtown. And the train was fully packed. So my parents and my brother and I walked down the Canyon of Heroes in the opposite direction.
Oh my
so
God.
we got all this cheering, all this high fives, all the way down to the cars, and then came back up. So I got it twice as much as anyone else. So very, very lucky.
Is the rumor true about a couple of guys on the team almost missed the parade? Were they out partying too much the night before?
Well, anyone that followed that team know that they had a little difficult time with the alarm clocks. But I do know that Keith Hernandez and Bobby Ojeda, on their way down to the park, were at a place where they couldn't get to the cars, and the fans picked them up. Now, these are, 200-plus pound athletes, picked them up and raised them over one of those fences that if you're ever dropped, you know, you're done.
Sure.
You know, like Exorcist style. And they and they made it to the event. But it was just I remember being on the second floor, and they had one of the mayor's people who was, you know, a 20-something, it worked so hard for nothing, who ran in and said they just did the total. There's 3.2 million people outside. I mean,
It's amazing.
I still don't get that. 3.2 million people. So that's what it's going to be like, I'm sure, on Friday.
Before we get to your appearance, one more for you from '86. You already mentioned and alluded to the fact, and we all know that the team was a little wild. There were some crazy partiers. Would that ever fly in today's day and age? It seems like that could never happen anymore.
It could not happen. I think that we live in a day and age where whatever you do, everyone knows about. So I think those, you know, and in some ways it's pretty funny you say that. Maybe it would have saved them, because he wouldn't have been able to get in that much trouble, because at some point someone would have known early on that there were things with, I mean, our best athletes, Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry, well documented, had their worst moments, you know, in those times, and that's sad. But you know, I guess as we're celebrating the Yankees now, we're thinking about guys that have always conducted themselves in an amazing way, and a guy who has dated and been made us proud as New Yorkers has been Derek Jeter, who's just incredibly class act.
What about here on Long Island? You're here. You got a couple of things going on, but a big appearance coming up Thursday. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Thursday on the 12th, I'm going to be at Landmark on Main Street, which is in Port Washington, and I'm there really. I was thinking that the title of it is weird. It's like spend an evening with Ron Darling. I spend an evening with myself all the time. It's not that great. But what's going to be fun about it is that I'm going to talk about the book. I wrote a book last year called The Complete Game. And we're going to talk about it. But the moderator is going to be Daniel Paisner, who helped me with the book. And we've become really good friends. He's just a really smart, good guy to be around. And we're going to spend time with some people from New York who just want to hang out. And we'll talk about everything from the book to to the Yankees win. And I think that's fun for everyone in this time where we're starting to concentrate on our Giants and Jets.
Yeah, well, and they've slipped a little bit. We won't even get into that. It's a Q&A, I'm sure, and people who want to attend, how do you get in touch? How do you make that happen?
Well, I think if they just go online, but if they call anyone at Landmark on Main Street, that's what it's called, they will easily be able to find out how to get there. And it's honestly not an event to raise money. It's not an event to do anything other than just have a chat. And honestly, to thank people who have bought my book and try to explain what I was thinking about when I wrote it.
And, they give us this bio on you and everything. You still look great, okay? Don't get me wrong. This picture, though, this has to be from the 80s, right?
I think it's from like '89. I look a lot better then. No gray hair. I don't even think I have facial hair then, so but it's nice to have, I guess.
It's nice. And one final thing, Gary Carter and Bud Harrelson, of course, with the Long Island Ducks, not Gary anymore, but Bud is a very good friend of the station. He's here all the time. I brought in my Game 2 World Series tickets, the Clemens-Gooden fiasco. You guys got hammered.
It's pretty funny you say fiasco because it was supposed to be the greatest pitching matchup of all time.
And it turned into a rout by the Red Sox.
Yeah, and it was hard to believe because Dwight, of course, was on top of his game. Clemens was on top of his game. But it shows you that if you're not 100%, against championship teams, you're going to be in trouble, and Pedro found that out last night.
And I was there with my dad. I was only about 13 years old. As we'll show the camera here, this video is going to be at WMJCFM.com. Gary and Bud have put their stamp on it. Would you mind signing this?
I would love to sign it, please. To be on the same ticket as those two is pretty honorable.
Fantastic. Ron Darling, one more time, Landmark on Main Street. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Thursday night, 7 o'clock. If you want to come out, literally, it's an easy night to have dinner, have a margarita, come over, hang out with us, and we're just going to really talk baseball and talk about the book.
Class act, you still look good, and I'm not making it up. When I say you're one of the best broadcasters, you really, for a guy who's been in it a short period of time, you're fantastic.
Well, thank you. I have a lot of help. I mean, where else can I sit next to two friends? Gary Cohn has become a friend, and Keith Hernandez has been a friend almost my whole lifetime. And at some point, every 2 weeks, they send me a check for watching games. That's pretty darn good.
That's not bad. Ron, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.